Before we get into this video, there's a couple of things I have to announce. First, like normal, I have to thank all of my Patreons. You guys are nothing less of amazing. We actually got a microphone stand to complement the microphone that you guys helped me purchase, and it is awesome. So far, so good. Really excited to get you guys these videos, and the studio is coming along really nice, so you might even have to expect them raps coming out a little bit more than normal. The next thing I want to talk about is that we are on our Insta game, and you guys can instantly get some views of whatever you guys want to see on the Cali Effect through our Instagram. See, I'm already with the puns. I know I'm an old guy and Discord was last, so Instagram is definitely the next thing, and it's going to be really interesting, possibly even thinking about moving our binder updates from YouTube to Instagram where the people can actually see things in real time. It'll be really awesome. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is that you are just awesome. I'm really excited to do this Shaddoll versus GOUKI matchup. It was last second. Z-Man actually hit me up. He was like, hey man, we already here. We already did the Fur Hire versus Vampire. We got some extra time. You want to do another game? So I threw together a Shaddoll Dino deck profile, or a Shaddoll Dino deck, and it was amazing. I actually refined it a little bit. And if you guys want to see that deck profile, let's get to 200 likes, guys. It is sauce. So without further ado, let's get into this video and start off with the stats. GOUKI versus Dinosaur. I didn't think that this would come about, and Dinosaur has all of the anti-meta aspects to beat the top tier decks, but will GOUKI be able to just completely push through those and make some unbreakable boards? We're about to find out in this video. Me personally, you guys already know I'm a Shaddoll Dino fan, but of also being a fan of Lucha Libre, the GOUKI archetype, it's going to be really interesting to watch. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get right into it. Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of TheCaliEffect, King of Games. And today, we're going to be watching an epic match between a deck that is already tier 1 inside of GOUKI against an up-and-comer, a deck that I really feel is a genuine contender inside of Shaddoll Dinosaur. Now, I'm going to start off with an Allure of Darkness to draw me into my Soul Eating Overreactor, and then that's going to send the Overtext Quatless from my deck to the graveyard. Let's go ahead and highlight Overtext Quatless, and this card is really powerful. Not the fact that when it's sent to the graveyard, you can add an evolution pill from your deck to your hand. A lot of people forget about the fact, the ability to negate and destroy my opponent's cards, as well as being able to shuffle dinosaur monsters back into my deck. It's powerful, but I don't really have any other plays, so I'm going to pass it back to Z-Man, and he is going to start off with Predaplant Orphis Scorpio, another card that I have to highlight because Orphis Scorpio is so good in GOUKI, but it does have its restrictions. If you can follow up Orphis Scorpio with another warrior monster such as Marauding Captain or even Junk Forward, then the combo is almost unstoppable. It's going to get you so many extenders, you're going to blow your mind. So what Orphis Scorpio does is that you can discard one monster or one card from your hand to the graveyard. I'm not 100% sure if it's monster right now. To special summon a Predaplant monster from your deck to your hand. He's going to special summon Darlington Cobra, and then he's going to add instant fusion from his deck to his hand. All really good cards because they allow him to extend his board that much more further. He's then going to use his Predaplant Orphis Scorpio as well as his Darlington Cobra for an Xseed summon. I'm very confident he's going to use it for the Xseed summon of MX Saber Invoker. And the reason why this card is so powerful because it allows him to special summon GOUKI Suprix from his deck to his side of the field, but not before the Cali Effect activates an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, preventing him from special summoning monsters from his extra deck. Now, he can't follow up with an instant fusion play because he does have an Invoker occupying his extra monster zone, so it's a really bad situation for him, really trying to figure out how can he get out of it. Is this the end of his turn? Because if it is, Shaddoll Dinosaur does have the perfect recipe, or is already spelling the perfect recipe for them to make a really big play. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with my turn, and as you guys can see, Shaddolls like to shadow. I keep saying that. I just love the way it sounds. The opponent, I'm gonna activate the evolution pill, banishing an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring and the Overtext Quatless to special summon yours truly, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, an extraordinarily powerful card inside of this deck. I'll actually highlight it a little later when its effects come up a little bit more. But this card is devastating, but that's not as devastating as the next card I'm going to follow up with. And we're going to actually go ahead and highlight this card because it's so powerful. Shaddoll Fusion allows me to fusion summon from my deck to my side of the field if my opponent controls a monster in the extra monster zone, or actually a monster special summon from the extra deck, and that is just extremely powerful. Me being able to send a Shaddoll monster from my deck to my graveyard, as well as another card, any card I pretty much choose, as long as I can fulfill the summoning conditions of my Shaddoll monster, is extremely powerful. Now, as you guys are going to see, I did send Shaddoll Beast, but that's not really my choice. I'm going to go ahead and retract that Shaddoll Beast back into my deck to send a Shaddoll Hedgehog. I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but you guys are pretty much there. And then I'm going to send a Miscellaneous Saris, a card that you don't often see for this Shaddoll Fusion. Normally players will summon Shaddoll Winda, but this is just the beauty about Shaddoll Dino, is that I feel like a lot of players haven't tapped into the deck's full potential, and I'm going to show you guys some really big potential. So I'm going to use both of those monsters to make Shaddoll Grista an extremely powerful card. This card stops Xyz summons, it stops Pendulum summons, it stops fusion, well, not fusion summons, it depends on the fusion. If it's a contact fusion, it can stop it, that doesn't activate. Basically, it stops almost every summon from the extra deck, but it's not going to stay on the board for long, even though it is an extremely powerful card. I'm then going to follow up by looking at my extra deck and trying to figure out what I'm going to do, banishing the Miscellaneous Saris for the Jirak Alo back to my side of the field. And how do we know? Because I only banished one monster, or one dinosaur monster, from my graveyard. So the Jirak Alo is going to summon. I can use the Grista and the Alo for a Side Frame Lord Omega. That would be just too spicy for the opponent. I'll have a little bit of disruption, as well as being able to put certain cards back into my graveyard, Miscellaneous Saris, cough cough, if I do need it to use its effects again. But I have a strong feeling that I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to follow up with an even bigger play, because why not? The TheCaliEffect is the TheCaliEffect. We're going to use all three of those monsters for a link summon of Nightmare Unicorn. But more importantly, what's so shocking is not using the effects of Nightmare Unicorn, because we're going to follow up with a second copy of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. That is just straight nasty. Now, Grista would have gotten me to Shaddoll Fusion, but I'm really feeling that this is game, and I'm going to show you guys why I didn't use Unicorn's effect, is because now I'm going to follow up with El Shaddoll Fusion to be able to fusion summon again to my side of the field to finish off the game. Wow, GOUKI's just got OTK'd by Shaddoll Dinosaur with a really powerful combo. Really excited to get you guys this deck profile again. Let's see if we can get those 200 likes. That would be really awesome. Going into game 2, it's going to be really interesting seeing how GOUKI's just got OTK'd. How will they be able to counter that? And more importantly, since they go first, what will they be able to do? This time, Z-Man's probably going to start off with something really special. He's going to start off with Junk Forward, and then he's going to follow up with Predaplant Orphis Scorpio again. This also makes sure, or basically guarantees, that I won't be able to Ash Blossom his Invoker without preventing him from playing Yu-Gi-Oh, because he can just use the Invoker and the Junk Forward for a link summon of Isol and then still go into his combo. So basically he's going to be able to special summon, that's right, Darlington Cobra back to his side of the field, and that's going to get an instant fusion, and then he's going to use Invoker's effect to special summon the Suprix back to his, or Suprix to his side of the field in defense position. Next, he's going to use, I'm pretty sure, the Suprix and the Invoker for a link summon of Isol. And yes, that's exactly what he's going to do. Or is he thinking? No, he's going to use those two cards. And then Isol is going to allow him to add a warrior monster from his deck to his hand. Let's go ahead and highlight this card because it is extremely important for GOUKI. If you guys want to know how to beat GOUKI, run Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries for this card, because when it's summoned, it allows him to add a warrior monster from his deck to his hand. And also, he can send quick spell cards from his deck to the graveyard to special summon warrior monster to his side of the field. So it's extremely important to the strategy. It is really good, and Z-Man does have a lot of follow-ups. I'm telling you guys, he can make a pretty devastating board. We know he has instant fusion, we know he has another summon, and he still has the Junk Forward on his side of the field, so it seems like Nightmare Goblin's gonna hit the field no matter what. I'm gonna go ahead and Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring the Isol, trying to figure out what can I Ash Blossom to be genuinely problematic. I can't Ash Blossom the Nightmare Mermaid because it would be Chain Link 1 inside of his Firewall combo. I think this is the only thing I can Ash Blossom Lex. He's just gonna go ahead and follow up with his instant fusion. Again, I feel like it's one of those indefensible plays. He's gonna be able to summon his Raiden to his side of the field and then use both of those monsters for a link summon of Nightmare Goblin. And that's just, like I said, it's really nasty. It hurts a lot to see that your opponent is gonna be able to play through a hand trap and still be able to make a board. No, it looks like he's not making the Nightmare Goblin just right now. I wonder, what is he doing? No, he's gonna use the effect of his Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, banishing, it looks like maybe, we know an Invoker and maybe a Twist Cobra. No, he's gonna banish the Suprix to add it to his hand, the Divine Sword and Phoenix Blade, and then he's gonna summon the Nightmare Goblin, discarding the Divine Sword and Phoenix Blade to gain an additional normal summon. So he's gonna be able to normal summon a Twist Cobra with the additional effect of Nightmare Goblin, and that, again, it's just one of those nasty things that you see your opponent does. If he was allowed to get the Octo Stretch, those two monsters making Nightmare Goblin would have got him a Suprix, and then that just would have been all bad. Next, he's going to use the Head Bat inside of his head, discarding the Wrist Scorpio from what he searched with the Isolde to summon the headback back to his side of the field. And it looks like Z-Man is going to be able to make a board. And I'm just looking at this board like, this is not good. This is just not good. This is something that you really don't want to go against in your worst nightmares, because I don't have any hand traps to stop this. He's going to be able to make his board basically indefensibly and possibly even force a game 3. Really excited to see how we're going to see if Z-Man can force that game 3. So 4 monsters on the side of the field, Isold, Nightmare Goblin, Twist Cobra, and Headbat. And he can possibly make a Firewall Dragon pointing to the Nightmare Goblin now with the Isold and now the Twist Cobra and the Headbat. And now we'll start allowing him to link off and use his Firewall Dragon and abuse his Firewall Dragon. Keep in mind that he's going to search GOUKI rematch at some point in time. So he's going to be able to search a lot of cards. He's going to be able to get exactly what he needs to it from his deck to his hand. Some great counters against GOUKI. Mistaken Arrest, Drolling Lockbird, all cards which I don't have in my hand right now. Yes, he's actually going to use those 4 monsters for a link summon of Firewall Dragon and then trigger off the effects of both the Headbat and the Twist Cobra, adding him 2 GOUKI cards from his deck to his hand. One of them we already know. There is without a doubt in my mind that one of them is going to be, yes, what we think it is. It's going to be an Octo Stretch for one of his cards, and then the second card is going to be the rematch. And now he's looking at a really interesting situation because he's already used both of his normal summons, and he only has Firewall Dragon and Nightmare Goblin. Actually, he's going to get the Huge Bear from his deck to his hand instead of the rematch. Still monsters that can search other monsters, and it looks like GOUKI's can go using their key to make a whole bunch of monsters. You guys like that pun. I know you guys did. He's going to leave them, or link summon the Nightmare Goblin from his field, summoning Ibly to his side of the field, and then chaining Firewall Dragons to the Ibly effect, discarding Divine Sword, Phoenix Blade. So he's going to get that extra summon off of Firewall Dragon, a monster leaving where Firewall Dragon points to, as well as a draw because Nightmare Ibly, or Nightmare Mermaid, was linked. So now he has the Ibly, the Huge Bear, still hasn't searched or activated the rematch, which is just extraordinarily amazing, and then still can get special summons off of Firewall Dragon as long as he uses that Ibly as a link summon right here, right now. So he's still in a really good position for this deck. And Firewall Dragon still hasn't used his bounce effect to recur any resources to continuously special summon more monsters to his side of the field. I'm telling you guys, Firewall Dragon probably should be banned because it's just that much of a powerful card. If you think about it, without Firewall Dragon, the board probably would have stopped with the Isold and the Nightmare Goblin. He probably would have made, or you could have made something like Saryuja, and then, you know, kind of like made a little small board from there. But Firewall Dragon is extremely problematic to the Yu-Gi-Oh card game because it allows him to make some really redonkulous boards. So following up with his next move, I wonder what is he going to do. Is he going to use the Huge Bear plus the Ibly? I think that's its only way to do it, to make a Link 2 monster and then trigger off the Firewall Dragon again, which will then allow him to add a GOUKI rematch from his deck to his hand. And if he's planning on extra linking, he might just want to give me that GOUKI. No, he's going to use 3 monsters. Not a big fan of that. He's going to use 3 of those monsters to make Nightmare Unicorn. And then give me the Ibly, so yeah, I can't special summon on my side of the field unless I'm link summoning, so that is a pretty huge disadvantage. I'm thinking he's using, or summoning the Unicorn to his side of the field, because eventually he's gonna make the Nightmare Griffin, but more importantly, he gets to set a spell card back to his side of the field when he makes that Nightmare Griffin to gain a GOUKI rematch. So Huge Bear's effect is gonna activate, and here we are, and I'm pretty sure Firewall Dragon's effect is going to activate too to special summon the Octo Stretch. He's going to go ahead and add Twist Cobra from his deck to his hand. I'm really interested to see why he didn't just add a second copy of the best card in the deck, which that best card is, like I said again, GOUKI Rematch. He's going to special summon the Octo Stretch and then use the Octo Stretch for a link summon of Link Kribo, so no, he's still in there, and then Firewall Dragon's going to trigger again. Octo Stretch should trigger for him to get an additional search. He has not used that card's effect correctly, or yet. And then he's going to activate that GOUKI rematch to special summon 2 monsters back to his side of the field. I think if he used Firewall Dragon's effect to add 2 monsters from his deck to his hand, he could get with the extra link combo. I'm pretty confident that's what the extra link combo is, but that's just really amazing. He's going to use both the Unicorn and the monster for the Nightmare Griffin, and then he's going to discard to set the GOUKI rematch, and now he's going to use 2 more monsters for a Nightmare Phoenix, kind of not necessarily lackluster, because now the Firewall Dragon can get 3 bounces as well as, or 3 bounces or recurs to his hand, so it does still get him resources, but it allows me to link summon. I'm going to go ahead and use the Ibly Stroke of Luck right here for the Nightmare Mermaid. That's exactly why we play the Nightmare Mermaid. You don't really play Nightmare Mermaid for anything else, because it does two things now. Nightmare Griffin prevents me from using monsters' effects unless they're linked. So that's pretty good. Now I'm going to activate Miscellaneous Ceres's effect from hand. Let's go ahead and highlight that card right now. Basically, it says all my dinosaur monsters are unaffected by monster effects for that phase. That is extremely important because now my dinosaur monsters cannot be touched, and it's really good to have dinosaur monsters untouched by my opponent. I'm going to go ahead and normal summon Armageddon Knight, and since it is linked to Nightmare Mermaid, I'm going to be able to use its effect to send a monster from my deck to my graveyard, probably an Overtext Quatless from my deck to my graveyard to allow me to get a big pill, and then I can start making a board. Keep in mind, when Ultimate Conductor Tyranno was summoned, it's nothing that Z-Man can really do during that phase because it can't be destroyed by card effects, or it's unaffected by other card effects. So I'm going to activate that big pill in my graveyard. Big pill is going to go ahead and banish, or I'm showing that I'm searching the big pill from my deck to my hand. So I'm wondering what else can I follow up with. He knows that I have the big pill. I know I have the big pill. So he's probably going to try to firewall that and force me to special banish dinosaurs. So I'm going to go ahead and banish the Miscellaneous Ceres to special summon the Direct Halo to my side of the field. And it looks like I'm going to be able to make a Nightmare Cerebus to destroy the Nightmare Phoenix or the Nightmare Griffin or the Link Creeper or even a Firewall, forcing him probably to use the Firewall right here and right now. And he is going to use the Firewall Dragon's effect, bouncing 2 cards from my field to my side of the field, or from my field to my hand, but he didn't recur a card from his deck to his hand. I think that would have been really good if he was actually able to, or if he remembered that Firewall Dragon can recur cards from his graveyard to his hand, because then he would have been able to bounce 2 of my cards and then recur a card. The Drac Halo cannot be bounced because it is unaffected by card effects, since the Drac or Miscellaneous Ceres was sent from the deck to the graveyard. So thinking about my next play, I still need to make a way for my monsters to be linked. And that's going to be the biggest problem, but that is completely solved because the TheCaliEffect does run that Link Karibo. That is just nothing less of amazing. If you guys want to see this Shaddoll Dinosaur deck profile, because you got to do it for the Link Karibo, you guys have to do it, go ahead and click on this link above. I'm also going to leave one inside of the description for you players that just want to watch this awesome game, and as well as get, you know, the content from the game as well. And if you guys want to see the GOUKI match, or the GOUKI deck profile, there's going to be a couple of edits to it in the description as well. Go ahead and click on this link right here, or this annotation, and it's going to be down below in the description. So I'm really excited to show you guys some games. I'm going to go ahead and activate Shaddoll Fusion, and now since my cards are untouched, and that's going to be able to special summon El Shaddoll Shekinaga by sending a Giant Rex from my deck to the graveyard. So now I'm on a roll. I think I'm doing really well for myself. We both know I have the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. I'm going to be able to attack over all of my opponent's monsters. The only problem is, once I start attacking, he's going to use the Link Karibo to make my Ultimate Conductor Tyranno's attack 0. So it looks like I'm going to have to sacrifice a monster at some point in time in order to make a board. Also, even more importantly, he still has the Nightmare Phoenix, so his monsters can't even destroy my battle. I'm going to go ahead and activate the Big Pill, banishing the Ash Blossom and the Giant Rex. Or no, it looks like I'm a little bit lost on what happened. Looks like I forgot to draw a card through Shadow Beast, and I corrected that. Okay, yeah. So I think I forgot my draw, and I go ahead and drew a card, and then I went ahead and activated Double Evolution Pill, where I was still resolving the activation. So Double Evolution Pill to banish the Giant Rex and Ash Blossom, 2 special summon Ultimate Conductor Tyranno to my side of the field, and of course the Shaddoll Fusion is in the graveyard because it was used. And now it looks like, oh, what is this sauce? Am I using the Giant Rex and El Shaddoll Shekinaga for a link summon? El Shaddoll Shekinaga is an extremely powerful card, but it can't really do anything unless I can break my opponent's board. So I'm going to use those effects to special summon Nightmare Cerebus, and Cerebus effect is going to activate. Shekinaga's effect is going to activate. Shekinaga's is going to be able to discard and I get to draw a card, and as well as be able to destroy a special summon monster inside of Nightmare Phoenix. And then I'm going to add a Shaddoll monster. Unfortunately, actually, you're supposed to add a Shaddoll Fusion. I go ahead and correct that right there. You're supposed to add a Shaddoll Fusion because that's the only card you can add with Shaddoll Shekinaga sent to the graveyard. So my hand advantage is extremely nice right now, and Z-Man's gonna look at something that could possibly break his board because I'm banishing 2 more dinosaur monsters for the second summon of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Dang, how did this happen? This was an extremely good board provided to you guys by Z-Man, but two, not one, but two copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, also as well with the Shaddoll Fusion, helped me get to in a position to be able to break this board. Now, we know his face down card isn't a real trap card. We know it's GOUKI rematch. How are we going to get over that GOUKI rematch before he can start up advantaging himself in getting? So I'm going to use Ultimate Conductor Tyranno to attack into the Link Kribo. And just so you guys know, it's going to cut off and go into main phase 2. This is why we have this is why we're working towards that camera, and this is why I appreciate you guys. So I'm going to use the first conductor to attack into the Link Kribo. He's going to use Link Kribo's effect. My Tyranno's going to go to 0. Then I'm going to use the other Tyranno to attack into all of my opponent's monsters, as well as attack directly with my other two monsters, bringing him down to what I believe was 31 or 2100 life points. It's a pretty low amount, so I apologize that I wasn't able to show you guys what exactly went down, but I was able to tell you guys, so we're all good. I'm then going to follow up with a Conductor Tyranno and also the Nightmare Service to make Nightmare Phoenix to destroy his rematch. So we're in a really good position. The only thing that I didn't like is that I did make the Phoenix pointing right to my Conductor Tyranno. I could have put the Tyranno in a different spot, but I'm probably thinking something else. I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Z-Man, and then we're going to see what he's going to be able to do. So Z-Man's going to follow up with GOUKI Suprex. I think I'm going to let that go ahead and work. I have Called by the Grave face down, so I can stop a pretty good amount of cards. He's going to special summon Headbat. I'm going to use Ultimate Conductor Tyranno to flip both of those monsters face down. Z has no more cards left in his hand. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno can attack those for 2,000 damage, and this is game. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. I really hope you guys enjoyed this deck, or this duel. Let's see if we can get those 200 likes for that deck profile. I'm excited to give it to you guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day, like I am.